Your life began the day it nearly ended. We saved you. You were reborn.
Something in my past is the key to all of this.
This war is just the beginning.
I'm not gonna fight your war. I'm gonna end it.
Hey everybody, it's Charlie. Happy New Year. Marvel just posted a new Captain Marvel promo. There was some new behind the scenes, and there's some funny stuff that they're doing with Jude Law's character. There are a couple official Marvel websites and a couple official licensing materials that are reporting different identities for his character, so I'll explain what's going on. We talk about gaslighting, how the Kree and the Skrulls are misleading her about what her identity is during the film, trying to play her against both sides. Marvel's kind of doing the same thing in real life with Jude Law's character. It's actually pretty funny, but no worries, we'll break it down. And because it's the holidays, we're doing a new round of that IMAX ticket giveaway. All you have to do to enter is be a subscriber and leave your favorite Captain Marvel moment on the video. They're cutting some of that new footage in a slightly different way, and you can kind of tell that they've been polishing a little bit more. Like when she's on this ship here, when she's fighting what looks like these Skrull soldiers that have revealed themselves, you can actually see a foosball table that's broken off to the left here. Like either it's an alien spaceship or it's a shield base that they've taken over, and it just happens to have all these Earth trappings all around it. It definitely does look like a spaceship, but why does it have a foosball table on it? Maybe the Skrulls just really like foosball, but if you don't remember the big Secret Invasion crossover event that Marvel did several years ago, there were actually a lot of Skrulls during that event that started being more sympathetic to humans, and they actually started liking doing human things. So it's actually not that unusual for Skrulls, advanced alien race that are trying to take over the Earth from the inside so that they can invade, to actually start liking things about humans. It's the Kree that feels superior to everyone else. There was another new picture of Jude Law's character with them on a mission early in the film. This is them when they're doing Star Force stuff. This is before she comes back to planet Earth. There's actually a behind-the-scenes featurette that's playing at Cinemark theaters too, if you go see any movie there, but there's not a whole lot of new footage, and they'll probably post that online sometime soon. But the more interesting thing really has become the question about Jude Law's character, and the reason why Marvel misleading you will become a little more evident when I explain what's going on. Marvel has been intentionally omitting any reference to his character in the Captain Marvel movie. It's pretty normal for them nowadays just to not tell you who's playing what character when they're initially cast. Like, a whole bunch of famous people in this movie, come see it, it's gonna be awesome. We'll tell you who they're playing way later. But usually they save that for the first two trailers when they reveal who the main cast is, because you actually see them in their costumes, you hear them talking, or if they're playing a motion capture character like the Black Order during Infinity War, you can kind of pick out who's playing who. Like Carrie Coon was playing Proxima Midnight, pretty easy to identify her voice. But there have been about 4 times in the past year when there have been reports about who Jude Law is really playing, and Marvel has wiped every reference to his character from official marketing material and websites. But each of those 4 times reported him as a different character, which is kind of hilarious. So first time we got it was last fall when he was initially cast prior to shooting. Variety reported that he was playing Walter Lawson. That's the secret human persona of Mar-Vell, the original male version of Captain Marvel from the comics. Pretty big character, bit of a deep cut at this point just because we haven't seen him in the Marvel movies yet. But Variety didn't say anything about him playing the male Captain Marvel. They just said he was playing Walter Lawson. So it'd be like saying Chris Hemsworth had been cast to play Donald Blake in the first Thor film. He's Thor, there's only a brief reference to his one-time human persona from the comics, Donald Blake. There was a brief joke in the film about Donald Blake, who was Jane Foster's former boyfriend. Thor put his jacket on for a second, so it was just a reference to Thor's one-time human persona when he had been banished to Earth by Odin. But for the most part, Variety is one of the big Hollywood trades. They're like 99% trustworthy when it comes to breaking news like this. So if they said that he was playing Walter Lawson, that was a pretty good chance that he was playing a version of Mar-Vell. But then came the first trailer, we got a few shots of him. He had these crazy yellow eyes like Jan Rog from the comics. In a few scenes that we had seen, he comes off as a hard ass. I mean, it doesn't seem like a total asshole because he doesn't speak that much, so it's kind of hard to tell. But he's present during the accident that activates Carol Danvers' full Captain Marvel powers in what looks like their version of the Psyche Magnetron here. Brie Larson said in the movie that the accident only enhances what's already there, which implies that she's already half Kree, and they really are following that prequel comic book story that Marvel just published last month. They released those first trailers, a little while goes by, then came the toys. There was this giant batch of Funko toys with everyone in their various costumes. Like, these are officially Marvel licensed toys. They take a long time to make, they take a long time to print those toy boxes. So of course we always see those before the actual movie comes out. One of the figures was a Yon-Rogg, and he was wearing a Star Force uniform like the other members of Star Force. Now keep in mind that they're all Kree, but only the members of Star Force wear these green-looking uniforms with these special helmets. So that meant that Yon-Rogg was a member of Star Force. And previously, Marvel had already revealed who all the members of Star Force were. This is Carol Danvers, this is Gemma Chan playing Min-Erva, this is Atlas, this is Bron Char, and this is Korath, who you remember from the Guardians of the Galaxy movie. Ronan the Accuser is a big part of the movie, but I don't think he's technically a member of Star Force. So Jude Law was the only character that Marvel hadn't officially confirmed, so everyone just naturally assumed that the mystery Yon-Rogg Star Force character was Jude Law. He's an asshole in the comics, he's got crazy yellow eyes, it all fits. Jude Law playing Yon-Rogg. Until this week, when the official Marvel website for the film listed him as Walter Lawson Mar-Vell. So people are like, well, if Marvel is saying on their website that he's officially Mar-Vell, then that must be what's going on. But after the news outlets and all the blogs picked it up, Marvel quickly deleted the reference from the website and said nothing about the matter. Right now, the website just lists him as the leader of Star Force. So here's the thing, Marvel usually doesn't lie on their websites about who characters are. Like, it's like the most broad version of a wiki that you've ever seen. Ego the Living Planet was listed as Ego, no fake name or anything like that. The Funko toys that Marvel licenses for the movies also do not lie, so this really is a Yon-Rogg character in the film that this toy is based on. He's a core part of the Carol Danvers origin story. It makes sense that they would put him in the movie. Right as I was making this video too, just in the last day, there was a Marvel Legends toy that just released also listing him as Yon-Rogg, and it actually had a much better description and a backstory for his character too that confirms Kree's supreme intelligence in the movie. So it just says on the back of this card here, leader of Star Force team, Yon-Rogg is a hero among the Kree and a key asset to the supreme intelligence in the war against the Skrulls. Jude Law separately said he's driven by a belief in the divine leadership of the Kree people. He's almost a devout warrior, unquestioning, conservative, but inspirational. If you've ever read the comics in the Kelly Sue DeConnick Marvel run that this is based on, I would not call Yon-Rogg inspirational or devout warrior. Like, he seems more like a mad scientist that's just interested in experimenting on people. In the Psyche Magnetron that gave Carol Danvers her powers is really just a device to do that. Like, it's literally meant to unlock huge powers in people, but the device is forbidden technology because it's so powerful, so unpredictable, and so dangerous. So of course, Yon-Rogg is a villain, so he doesn't care about any of those things and uses it anyway. If Marvel says on their official website that he's playing Mar-Vell, the original Captain Marvel, and Funko and the Marvel Legends official licensed toy lines are saying that he's Yon-Rogg, and neither of them are lying, what does it mean about his character? This is like a 9th level Marvel mystery here. We haven't had that many Marvel mystery movies. It probably means, though, Jude Law is playing both characters, and ultimately, by the end of the film, he's either revealed to be Yon-Rogg, who has been just masquerading as Mar-Vell this whole time, or it's also double twisty, and he's a Skrull who's been masquerading as Yon-Rogg and Mar-Vell in a bid to infiltrate the Kree Empire and co-opt resources like Captain Marvel to destroy the Kree from within. But that seems a little more twisty. I think it's more likely that he's Yon-Rogg for real, like the actual Captain Marvel villain, but they've given him a persona that's closer to Mar-Vell in the comics, and maybe they just include a reference to that name, because they did imply that there was a romance between their two characters. They also did clarify that her powers are cosmic level. There aren't that many cosmic level beings in the Marvel Cinematic Universe that we've seen so far. Ego the Living Planet, aka Celestial, is probably the best example of that. Just crazy powers that we hadn't seen on a galactic scale prior to the Infinity Gems and the Infinity Gauntlet. But even though there's a big question about exactly how powerful MCU Captain Marvel is, I would say, she's on the level of like Stormbreaker breaking Thanos' skin while he's wearing the full Infinity Gauntlet. The reason the Russos said that Thor was able to get Thanos with Stormbreaker was only because Thanos was caught unawares. If he were fighting them in a more direct battle and he had more time to study how the Infinity Stones work and how best to use them, then they would have no chance, which I think is why it's going to be a more interesting fight during Avengers Endgame when they have a rematch with him. because at every turn, like even when he's fighting the Hulk at the beginning of Infinity War, he takes his armor off, and that's really badass armor just because he wants to have fun fighting the Hulk, and he wasn't even using the Power Stone when he was fighting him. So keep in mind that that's just the beginning of how badass Thanos is. So I think Avengers Endgame is actually the fulfillment of the promise of the best version of a fight that you could expect between Thanos at full power and the Avengers at full power with the addition of Captain Marvel. But let me know in the comments, what do you think is going on with Jude Law's character if Marvel is both reporting him on official material as Jan Rog and as Walter Lawson, aka Marvel from the comics? What'll happen is because I'm traveling, I'm actually recording this in like the weirdest possible way. You guys have no idea what this looks like while I'm recording this video. It's hilarious. I'll be back home on Sunday, so videos will be back to normal, but I have more Marvel to post, more Game of Thrones, and some new Rick and Morty Season 4 that's actually pretty cool. So I'll name a giveaway winner when I post new Marvel, but leave all your video requests in the comments below. I'll be posting videos through New Year's, so there will be holiday videos as well. There was a really cool talk that Kevin Feige gave that I put in my Avengers Endgame teaser video. Click here to listen to him talk about all that stuff. It's actually really cool. And click here for my Once Upon a Deadpool new post-credit scene video. Thank you so much for watching. Everybody stay awesome. I'll see you guys tonight.